on offense, 5 out, and 5 guys on defense. So player at the top with the ball, corners, 45 in a 5 out, and then match up on defense. What's up, guys? Good. Coaches, thank you for bringing them. We'll talk more in a second as we get started here. This team's from North Shore, and we're grateful to be able to have them here. Guys, real quick, I would have done this before in private, but I'll do it here publicly. Unfortunately for you, this clinic is not about you. This clinic is about the coaches. So I will coach this differently than I would if this was a practice. And that is a really important point for us to understand as coaches, is practice is about the players. Practice is not a coaching clinic. And that's very different. How I would present to coaches and the details and the information I would share is very different. This is a coaching clinic, but how I would run a practice, and I'm going to give you a bit of perspective on that here, is I would run it with the goal in mind of helping my players improve and helping our team succeed, win. And those are ultimately the 2 goals of practice that I approach it with. The thing that kind of overrides all that is athlete satisfaction. Athlete enjoyment. That matters to me, that they enjoy practice. So if you ask me a lot of how my philosophy was formed, it was formed with an understanding that players like to play basketball in practice. Above anything else, they like to play basketball. And too often our practices don't look like basketball. And we're going to connect that for you here in this. So dribble to the wing, dribble to the 45, loop to the top, loop to the loop under and up. You're going to set a back screen right there. You're going to cut all the way through right there. Stay on top. So this play is going to get posted to Twitter today at 2 p.m. Eastern. This is one of the plays that's going on Twitter. So this is run by Jamin Christian at, ironically, George Washington. So loop, he didn't run out of 5 out. I'm running it out of 5 out because it's much cooler nowadays to run it out of 5 out. Pass to the top. And now we're going to boomerang. So a pass and pass right back there. That is going to initiate your back screen cut right there. Pop out right there. Get the ball right there, and now initiate a dribble handoff right back, similar to what I would call a Ricky, which is a screen and rescreen for the same person. In this example, the Ricky is a back screen and a DHO right back to the same person. Okay, go back, recreate, start from the beginning with the whole play. Okay, hold. Commands in the gym, come back, recreate. When we coach, and we coach a lot out of offense versus defense situations, the number one thing is classroom management, gym management. How am I managing my environment so I can coach and use the coaching interventions that are necessary to be able to help connect ideas for my players? And there's 3 things that I'm trying to do. I am trying to teach. We're all good. We know we're going to teach something. Well, also that goes with teaching is I want to connect. And for players, I want to connect what happens in practice also happens in the game. I want to make sure I connect that for them. This is just not something we're doing in practice. This is something that's going to help you perform better in a game and help our team win. And then the last part is transfer. Transfer is ultimately the most important thing here. It is what I'm teaching in practice, transferring to the game to help my players be better in the game and to help our team be better in the game. And that to me is a constant evaluation as you go through practices and as you go through your season, is keep what transfers to the game and helps your players improve and helps your team win, and get rid of, and that's an important part I started with, subtract things that don't help your players and help your team win. And that is a really hard thing to do as a coach because we all have our favorite things. We all have our favorite drills, we all have our favorite plays, but sometimes they don't work, and most importantly, sometimes your drills don't connect what you think they connect to help players perform better in the game and to help your team win. So we would teach. They've never seen this. Have you seen this play before? They've never seen this play before. I introduced a new play to players, 5-on-5 slow learning. Slow learning is a really important concept here. I could teach this whole play to start with 5-on-0. I could absolutely teach it 5-on-0, and nothing's wrong. So I'm not here to tell you anything's wrong. But what I'm saying is I lose very important opportunities to be able to connect players. Because most importantly here is I get two-way teaching reps at the same time I'm teaching offense. I'm teaching offense here. But really, I am connecting the defense to the offense as well. What should you do when the ball's passed to the wing? Move to the ball, sprint to the ball, jump to the ball. Good, set the back screen. What should you do to be able to help your teammate know there's a back screen? Cool. So we're talking about at any point, and I am a cold caller. What day is today? Awesome effort answering your question. I am a cold caller, meaning I'm not here to make them comfortable all the time. In fact, my goal in practice is to make them uncomfortable in practice and then make them comfortable for the games. And that's really hard, isn't it? And isn't that the art of all this? I can tell you anything you want about skill acquisition and motor learning, but all that's thrown out the door because the bottom line is I want to make him the most comfortable and confident he can be when it comes to the game. But to help him grow and improve in practice, I have to constantly challenge him. And most of the challenge is not physical. We can challenge anyone physically, make them run. Well, great, that's challenging them physically, but it's mental challenges. Mental challenges, and one of the ways we challenge them is cold calling. Who's responsible for your learning? You are. Great effort answering. Great effort making a mistake. How often do your players hear that in your practices? Great effort making a mistake. Too often we give them crap for making mistakes. And yeah, there are bad mistakes, don't get me wrong. But we want players to understand that mistakes are important and necessary for learning. So to be able to answer a question incorrectly is okay. To be able to make a physical mistake is okay. Because, guys, you suck before you're okay before you're good, and you're good before you're great. And every single person, including myself, and anything I've ever learned in life, goes through that process. And instead of making them feel bad about mistakes, shouldn't we start to normalize that as part of the learning process? And normalize the fact that that's all part of it. So in this 5-on-5 scenario, these are more what I would call perceptual reps in slow learning. And here's the thing. If we, ready? Give him the ball for a second. Pass him the ball. Shoot the ball. Okay, now, when he shoots the ball, what is preceded by him shooting the ball? Because we want to all start and talk about and just dissect the biomechanical skill of shooting the ball. Well, that's important. The physical skill of shooting the ball is really important, and yes, we can improve it. But before he shoots the ball, two other things happen. The two other things that happen are, first, he perceives. What is he perceiving here? What are you perceiving based on your decision to shoot the ball or not? If you're open. What determines whether you're open or not? Your coaches probably have defined that for you. The simple answer, guys, is this. Anytime a coach asks you a question about offense and you are not paying attention, just say space. Space 100% of the time is the answer on offense. So what's the goal of offense? There you go. The goal of offense is to create space, and with space, we're trying to recognize advantage. Once we have advantage, we have decisions to be able to make. Basketball decisions supersede basketball plays. Basketball decisions supersede basketball plays. What does that mean? What that means is this. I'm teaching this play, but if you have an advantage, what's the most important part? What's the most important part? If he's open, he's going to shoot. Now, that's assuming he's a player in range, in rhythm, that you are okay shooting the ball in those spots. You can define shot selection however you want for your team. But superseding the play is a basketball decision. And the basketball decision starts with, are you open? We define open by more than arm length away from a player. And that connects with our 0 seconds philosophy. More than arm length away for a player.